It was supposed to be a routine checkup. I was 24. Tired, sure. But that was normal. I was working 2 jobs, freelancing on the side, and trying to finish my last semester online. Who wasn't exhausted? But the doctor's face changed when she read my blood work. Her voice dropped into that soft, slow rhythm you know instantly means something's wrong. I'd like to schedule a biopsy, Lily. There's a mass I need to look at more closely. 2 weeks later, my world collapsed into the word Hodgkin's. Stage 2. Curable, maybe. But expensive, definitely. I didn't cry in the office. I thanked her. I nodded like a good, rational girl. I called my mom, still parked in the hospital garage. And that's when the real story began. Mom gasped. Not from fear, from excitement. "Oh, honey," she said. "This will bring the family closer. I just know it." My father sighed in the background. "We'll do a fundraiser," he added flatly. "GoFundMe is really effective if the photos are sad enough." And just like that, my illness wasn't mine anymore. It was theirs, a campaign, a tool, a twisted silver lining for a family obsessed with appearances. My sister Jasmine jumped on the story like it was hers to tell. She was older by 3 years, always the spotlight of the family. Beauty pageant since kindergarten, prom queen, sorority darling. Engaged to a finance bro named Caleb, with a wedding planned for the following summer. Jasmine made my cancer diagnosis part of her narrative. She filmed TikToks crying in her car. She posted aesthetic photos of us as kids. "Pray for my baby. Sis, she's the strongest warrior I know." And she started the fundraiser. The page went viral. Her captions were heartbreaking. "She can't work during treatment. She still has tuition. She just wants to live." They uploaded pictures of me from the hospital. I didn't even know they had taken them. The worst one, I was curled up in bed with tubes in my arm and a tear halfway down my cheek. It raised over $90,000 in under 2 weeks. They didn't let me see the page. "Don't worry," Jasmine said when I asked. "We've got it handled. Just focus on healing." Chemo broke me. My hair fell out in clumps. My nails turned black. I stopped recognizing my face in the mirror. Jasmine barely visited. She always had bridal things. Dress fittings, venue meetings, a bachelorette to plan. Sometimes she dropped off green juices with handwritten labels like anti-inflammatory queen or detox goddess. I didn't need kale. I needed my money. Every time I asked, Mom brushed it off. "We've got everything on autopay," she said. "You don't need the stress of budgeting." But bills were showing up unpaid. My landlord emailed me saying rent was short. My university portal locked me out. I checked the GoFundMe from a burner email, and that's when the second cancer hit. The page was closed. Goal reached. Total donations, $92,740. Comments from people I hadn't spoken to in years, classmates, distant cousins, strangers from Reddit, all saying things like, "Hope this helps her fight. Love wins. Praying for you, Lily. Stay strong, sweet girl." And in the latest update, posted 3 weeks ago, Jasmine had written, "Lily is doing so well. She's almost done with chemo, and thanks to your help, she's healing in peace. Your support even let us book a special sister trip to give her some rest and sunshine. More updates soon." I hadn't left the house in a month. I hadn't even seen the sun. 2 days later, Jasmine posted bikini photos from Bora. Bora, not just her. Caleb too. On a private deck, overwater bungalow, holding champagne flutes with captions like "Mrs. Almost" and "Last fling before the ring." Her wrist sparkled with a brand new Cartier bracelet. The luggage in the background had Louis Vuitton logos. The GoFundMe money was gone, and my fundraiser had paid for their honeymoon. I confronted her. "Hey," I typed, trembling. "Did you use my cancer fund for your trip?" She responded in 2 blue bubbles. "Lily, please don't make this about money. You're alive. That's the real blessing. Don't be toxic. Be happy for me." And just like that, the last thread snapped. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I started writing. Emails. To donors, to journalists, to GoFundMe's fraud department. I documented every transaction, every post. I built a file the size of a dissertation. I waited. And when the wedding invitations went out, glossy cream cards with gold foil edges, I RSVP'd yes. But not as a guest, as a story. The wedding was scheduled for September 9th, 1 month after my final round of chemo. I wasn't strong yet. My legs still buckled on stairs. My throat burned every morning like I'd swallowed ash. But I circled, the date in red, not as a celebration, as a deadline. By mid-August, I had everything I needed. GoFundMe's fraud department had confirmed the fundraiser had violated their terms. They froze the account. Then they emailed me back, politely, discreetly, asking if I'd be open to a formal investigation. I forwarded that message to my lawyer, the same one who helped my friend settle a workplace injury claim. She offered to represent me for free. "People who exploit medical funds are monsters," she said. "Let's bury them in sunlight." Meanwhile, I printed out every receipt I could find. Caleb's honeymoon bookings, Jasmine's credit card expenses, the exact timestamps of her Bora Bora posts aligned with when they marked the fundraiser completed. Each file was clean, precise, with photos, emails, highlighted bank statements. I put it all in a white envelope, and on the flap, I wrote in black, Sharpie, for the bride and groom, "Congratulations, from the Cancer Fund." The morning of the wedding, I stood in front of my mirror. Not in a dress, not in heels, in a black pantsuit, cropped hair, no wig, no makeup, just war paint eyeliner, dark and sharp, because my face was not there to be pretty. It was there to be remembered. I arrived early, to the venue, not as a guest, as a delivery. The receptionist's smile faltered as she saw me. Are you at the catering?" I slid the envelope across the counter. "No," I said. "I'm family." Back home, I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. Then my phone buzzed. My cousin Emma, the only person in my family who ever asked how I was doing, texted, "Lily, what did you do?" Jasmine's locked in the bathroom crying. Caleb's yelling at your mom. Uncle Paul is screaming something about refunds. Did you really bring a file? I stared at the screen, my fingers trembling. Then I typed back, "I just told the truth." Later that night, someone posted a blurry video on Facebook. It was from the reception. The caption said, "I thought this was going to be a wedding, not a crime scene." The video showed Jasmine screaming at Caleb. Her voice warbled, drunk, and hoarse. Caleb stormed off screen. In the comments, people asked why the cake hadn't been cut, why the DJ left early, why the bride was yelling something about donations and blackmail. I didn't reply. I didn't have to. The next day, I got a phone call from my father. "Lily," he said. His voice was tired, hollow. "What the hell did you do?" I told the truth, I repeated. She could go to jail. I could have died. He was silent. Then he hung up. A week passed after the wedding. The silence from my family was louder than any fight. No one called. No one texted. Not even Jasmine. And for someone who used to post 4 Instagram stories a day, she had gone eerily quiet. Her entire profile was locked down, scrubbed clean. The photos of Bora Bora? Gone. The bridal shower reels, the crying selfies, the fake inspirational captions. All deleted, and then a message from a name I didn't recognize. From Melissa Turner, Channel 7, Investigative Team. Hi Lily, I came across a recent fraud alert connected to a cancer fundraiser. Would you be open to sharing your story on air? Wasn't ready for TV. I still looked sick. My skin was pale. My eyes had lost their spark. But I said yes anyway, because it wasn't about how I looked. It was about what they did. They filmed the interview in my tiny apartment. No makeup crew, just a camera, a mic, and Melissa, who sat across from me and asked gently, "How did it feel realizing the people closest to you used your illness to fund their honeymoon?" I didn't cry. I told her about the texts, the fundraiser, the borrowed grief that became profit. I showed her the receipts, the photos. The caption Jasmine wrote about a sister trip while I was vomiting blood in a bathroom stall. I didn't name them directly, but I didn't have to. The segment aired 3 days later. They blurred faces. They redacted names. But everyone, local, knew who it was. My inbox exploded. Messages from old teachers, classmates, friends I hadn't spoken to since high school. "Lily, I donated. I'm so sorry. I can't believe they did this to you. Do you need anything? How can I help?" Even strangers sent money. One woman Venmo'd me $300 with a note. "This belongs to you, not your sister." The community rallied not around Jasmine's fake version of me, but around the real one. Meanwhile, I heard whispers about Jasmine. Someone saw her crying in the parking lot of her old gym. Caleb had moved out. The wedding license was never filed. Mom stopped going to her book club. Apparently, the group had seen the news, and her name came up when the anchor read, "Relatives of the accused." Aunt Brenda posted a cryptic status. "People forget. Secrets don't stay secrets forever, especially when you profit off someone else's pain." The final blow came from GoFundMe. They emailed me a formal letter confirming the account had been used fraudulently. The funds were improperly redirected. They would be issuing a reimbursement. They couldn't recover everything. The trip had been paid in full. But donors who flagged the issue would receive partial refunds. And the rest? They offered to reissue the remaining funds to me in a secure, locked account with my name only. I clicked accept. Later that night, Jasmine texted for the first time since the wedding. "You humiliated me. You ruined my life." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I wrote back. "I didn't ruin it. I just stopped funding the version of it you built off mine." She didn't reply, but I saw the typing bubble flicker, then disappear. 3 months passed. My hair was growing. Back, short, soft, uneven. I wore it with pride. It was real, and it was mine. Like the body I was rebuilding, bone by bone, breath by breath. The days still hurt sometimes, but not the same way. Not from betrayal. Not from pretending. I wasn't just surviving anymore. Was living, and I had something to celebrate. My oncologist called it complete remission. The scan was clean. Blood work stable. No shadows, no abnormalities. The nightmare that started with a whisper in a doctor's office had ended, and I'd walked out of it not just alive, but undefeated. I didn't tell my family. I told my friends. The ones who stayed. The ones who showed up with smoothies and warm socks and noise-canceling headphones when I was too sick to speak. Together we planned a dinner. Just a quiet thing. Small restaurant, some wine, some laughter. No drama. But then Emma called me. "You might want to see this," she said. Was a flyer, posted on Facebook, shared in the neighborhood group, Jasmine's profile picture next to white and gold lettering. Celebration of life for my beautiful sister, Lily's recovery. Join us Saturday, Harborview Terrace for cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and a night of giving back donations. Welcome. I read it twice, then a third time. She hadn't spoken to me in 3 months, not once. Not when GoFundMe refunded the donors, not when she lost Caleb, not when the news went viral, not when I hit remission. But now she was throwing a fundraiser in my name again. I scrolled through the event page, over 100 RSVPs, sponsored wine bar, a silent auction, a raffle for a skincare basket she was donating personally, and a bright pink Donate Here button linking to a new page. Not GoFundMe this time. Venmo to her. I sat in the dark for a long time. It wasn't even rage this time. It was quiet, cold, like watching someone dig a hole you warned them about, then climb in and ask you to toss them a shovel. My phone buzzed. Emma again. "She doesn't know you saw the invite," she said. "You should come." I was already dressed. Harborview Terrace looked like a Pinterest board threw up on it. Fairy lights, pink banners, photo booth station with signs that said things like "Fighter Strong" and "Sisters by Blood" in glittery cursive. And there she was, Jasmine, wearing white again, smiling at a crowd of old family friends and former church ladies who had no idea what they were walking into. She hadn't noticed me yet. So I walked in through the center, slow, steady, through the middle of their curated lies, until I was just a few feet from the mic she held. She froze. Mid-sentence, the crowd turned. "Lily!" someone said, surprised. "You're here. She said you might not be strong enough." I took the microphone from Jasmine's hand, gently. She stared at me like she'd seen a ghost. I leaned in close enough that only she could hear me. "Let's tell them the truth. One last time." Then I faced the crowd. "Hi, everyone," I said, voice clear. "Thank you for coming. I'm touched, really, that so many of you care." Some people clapped. Jasmine stood behind me, too stunned to speak. "But I want to be honest," I continued. "This is not my party. I didn't plan this. I didn't ask for donations. And I didn't approve this fundraiser. Again." Gasps, a ripple of murmurs. And then I pulled out the envelope. The one with screenshots, receipts, news clippings. "I thought maybe the last time would be enough," I said softly. "But sometimes people don't learn. Sometimes they come back for more." I turned slightly, just enough to glance at her. Not with anger, but pity. Tonight isn't about me. It's about someone who refuses to stop using me. The room fell completely silent. And then a voice from the back, An older woman in pearls asked, "Jasmine, is this true?" No answer. Jasmine was already walking toward the door, but this time, no one followed her. The party ended in whispers. I stayed until the fairy lights dimmed and the last donor quietly canceled their Venmo transaction. No one looked at Jasmine as she disappeared through the terrace doors. No one said her name again that night. They came to hug me instead, one by one. Some embarrassed, others furious. Some offered envelopes they'd brought, which I politely returned. I didn't want their money. I wanted truth to cost her, not me. The next morning, I expected a storm. Jasmine always knew how to spin things. She'd probably post a black square, a vague quote about forgiveness and haters. Maybe even claim she was protecting me again. But nothing came. No posts, no texts, no clever lies, just silence. Until 2 days later, a letter in my mailbox, handwritten, no stamp, no return address, just one page. "Lily, I don't know what to say anymore. I messed up. I didn't mean to hurt you, I wanted something good in my life. You always had people who loved you. I had followers. That's not the same. I didn't think you'd fight back. You never used to. I guess I underestimated you. You're not the sick little sister anymore. I'm sorry you hate me. I don't blame you. I'm leaving town for a while. Don't worry. No more fundraisers. No more parties. I won't bother you again." I folded the letter slowly. No apology for the money. No return of what she stole. No ownership. Just self-pity wrapped in faux reflection. And even now, she thought I was the one who had always been loved. I didn't respond. Tucked the letter in the back of the file folder, the one labeled, "Evidence, do not delete." I didn't need revenge anymore, but I wasn't about to forget either. 2 weeks later, Emma invited me out. "Just a dinner," she said. "But you need to come." I hesitated. Crowds still made me anxious. I still carried the ache of chemo in my bones, like a ghost pressing on my ribs. But I agreed. The restaurant was cozy, candlelit, buzzing. When I walked in, everyone stood, not dozens. Just 10 people. Emma, my closest friends, even a few co-workers who'd sent care packages while I was sick. They clapped. There was a banner above the table. It didn't say, "Fighter Strong" or "Sister Goals." It just said, "Welcome back, Lily." Emma handed me a small box. Inside was a bracelet. Simple. Silver. Engraved. She survived. Then she thrived. I cried for the first time in months, not from pain, not from betrayal, but from being seen. Truly, wholly without condition. I wasn't someone's story anymore. I was my own. And it was just beginning. It's been 1 year. A year since chemo. A year since the fundraiser fallout. A year since I stopped begging to be loved by people who only saw me as a tool. Jasmine never came back. Rumors say she moved to Arizona, tried to start over. I don't know if she ever returned the money. I don't think she could. Not just because it was spent, but because that would mean facing what she did. Some people need the lie more than they need redemption. My parents still live in the same house, still go to church, still pretend like nothing happened. We haven't spoken in 8 months, and that used to break me. But now, it frees me. I used the reissued funds, the ones GoFundMe returned, to pay off the last of my tuition. I walked across the graduation stage in May, wearing a wig made from my own regrown hair, styled and pinned into a braid I'd waited a year to have. The applause felt different this time, because it wasn't for surviving. It was for becoming. I started volunteering at the oncology center where I used to sit, hooked to poison and prayers. I tell my story now. Not the Instagram-filtered version Jasmine made up, but the real one. The raw, gut-deep kind people don't always want to hear, but need to. And every time a girl sits across from me with wide, terrified eyes and a trembling voice, I tell her, "You're not a storyline. You're not someone else's sympathy ticket. You're more than what's happening to you. You're still you." Because I needed someone to say that to me, and no one ever did. So now I say it. For others, Emma's still my best friend. We laugh more now. We cry less. She's the family I got to choose. Last week she asked if I ever wanted to confront Jasmine, get closure, reopen the wound just to drain the last drop of rot. I said no, because some stories don't end with an apology. Some end with peace. I keep Jasmine's letter in a box, not out of sentiment, out of proof that I wasn't crazy, that I didn't imagine the betrayal, that I survived the kind of pain that makes you question your own worth. The box is labeled before, because everything that matters now came after. I still walk with a limp when I'm tired, my skin sensitive, my trust slower. But my heart, it beats like it remembers who I am, not the victim, not the sister, not the girl who got sick, just Lily. And that is enough.